Welcome to American Dog Culture. We're searching the country to bring you stories from dog owners, trainers, and industry professionals. Many older large breed dogs are often harder to find forever homes for. Best Fur Friends Rescue is rescuing dogs in North Texas and relocating them to places like Illinois and Colorado using volunteer transport partners. Susan, Best Fur Friends Rescue is doing something really special. You're going out and finding at-risk dogs that are large breed dogs, and you're finding new homes for them in places like Illinois and Colorado. How are you doing this?
We are. We've been very fortunate and blessed to have partners in Colorado and Illinois where the shelters are less full and there's more demand for the senior type dogs, retriever mixes, lab mixes, healer mixes that we pull. And we find at-risk dogs here at the shelters. We go evaluate them. We have a team, a BFF Texas team that goes and evaluates the dogs in the shelters. We pull them. We are strictly foster-based. There is no boarding. And we fully vet them. That means we test them for parasites, we test them for heartworms. If they're heartworm positive, then we treat them. And spays and neuters, fully vetted. So they go into the foster completely vetted and ready to go. They sit in the foster 3 to 5 weeks. They can fully recover from any upper respiratory infections that they might have, from any heartworm injections that they might have, and they can fully recover there before they're put on transport.
Wow, and this is a huge undertaking. How did you get into this?
Well, it started about 5 years ago, and I will say that Facebook has been a remarkable thing for rescue. It just gets the faces of the dogs at risk out there. And I was at home one night and just looking through Facebook, and the face of this black lab, actually the gray face of what once was a black lab, appeared, and she stole my heart. And I contacted, she was actually in foster care. She'd been pulled from the shelter and was actually in foster care. And I contacted the lady, went and did a meet and greet, and this 10-year-old lab just absolutely stole my heart. She was wonderful around my 2.5-year-old son, very gentle. I just couldn't have asked for a better dog. So as I started glancing across Facebook, I saw many senior dogs in need. Lots of them had been with a family their entire life and their owner passed away. The family either couldn't take them, whatever the circumstance, they couldn't take them. And so they were put into a shelter environment and they were not getting adopted. And I just thought, why not? So I got in touch with a wonderful transport company called Kindred Hearts. Everything just kind of aligned. I think the stars aligned for me. I got in touch with the right people, and we started pulling senior dogs from shelters, and where there are just wait lists in Colorado and Illinois for these dogs.
Wow, and so these organizations, they're made mostly of volunteers, or all of volunteers, and they're driving the dogs from Texas to Illinois, and you also are transporting dogs to Colorado.
Correct, and we use 2 all volunteer organizations. One is Pilots and Paws, and they are pilots, animal lovers, love to fly. And so, for example, if we do a trip to Colorado Springs, we find a local DFW pilot, and we take the dogs to the airport, and they have health certificates. Any dog that goes across state lines needs to have a health certificate. And we put them on the plane, and it is the most amazing experience. Just when the engine starts, the tears start with us. And as it's wheels up and up they go, it's just, we cry every time. It never gets old. And I've been doing this for almost 5 years, and it's such an amazing journey because we remember the moment the dogs were pulled from the shelter, the moment that they saw the green grass and the blue sky and the sunshine, and just they kind of breathe that relief that they know that they're out of the shelter and that they're going to something great, to the wheels up and they're headed to their new homes. So for the Colorado transfer, it's DFW to Amarillo, and then we have another pilot waiting in Amarillo, and that would be in Amarillo to Colorado Springs. And then our partner meets them there, and some of the dogs will go into foster care until they're adopted, and some of the dogs will go into their adopted homes who've been pre-screened through our adoption process.
Wow, and today we actually get to see part of this process. What's happening today?
We do. Kindred Hearts Transport Connection is our bread and butter, and it is something that, again, it never gets old, and I'm in awe every time we do the transport. So we apply for transport for these dogs, and it's about a 3 to 5 week window when you apply for Kindred Hearts. They pre-screen, they do vet references, they do everything to make sure that they are leaving safe and loving arms, they are being transported by safe and loving arms, and that they are arriving in Colorado or in Illinois into safe and loving arms. And so you wait, and about a week and a half before transport, they just send out an email. It's posted on Facebook for all their pre-screened drivers, and you just watch it fill. And it's about 16 drivers from here to Illinois today. It's a 2-day process. It starts with the fosters. The fosters bring the dogs to a meet point, and the first driver who's volunteered their time and their gas and their car and to drive them on up. So it's about an hour and a half to 2 hour round trip, and we'll do about 8 to 9 legs today, and then the dogs will have an overnight in Memphis, Tennessee, and then they start their journey early in the morning, and up they go, and they reach the loving arms of our partner in Illinois tomorrow night.
You ready to go home? Yeah. You're on your way home, babies. All right.
Susan, it's amazing what you're doing with transporting dogs across the country. What are some ways that people can get a hold of you and help you out?
Well, you can go on our website at www.bestfurfriendsrescue.org, and you can keep up with everything that we do on our Facebook page or on our website.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to all the transporters for getting them here.
I'm in love.
Oh my gosh, she's ready for love. Oh my god. Oh, so cute.
Closed captioning for this episode of American Dog Culture is paid for by the Marley Yost team of Keller Williams in Arlington, Texas.
I'm Marley Yost with the Marley Yost team and Keller Williams in Arlington, Texas. We want to earn your business in Arlington. Arlington has wonderful amenities, from parks to schools to the entertainment district. We'd love to help you with all your real estate needs, whether you're buying or selling a home or looking to invest in real estate. Please give us a call. 817-382-9791.
Baylor Scott & White Health and Canine Companions for Independence are finalizing plans to build a regional training center in Texas. Canine Companions for Independence at Baylor Scott & White Health Kincaid campus will be the first Canine Companions training center in the nation to be connected to a healthcare system. Initial construction will include between 6 and 8 dormitory rooms and 24 kennels, with the overall objective of developing a campus capable of graduating approximately 60 teams per year.
Well, we're very pleased to bring this project to the state of Texas. This is the first project for Canine Companions in the state of Texas that will allow adults and children alike throughout the state access to these special assistance dogs.
Canine Companions serves people with a variety of disabilities, over 35 disabilities, everything ranging from somebody coming back from the Middle East wars who's a veteran returning with amputation, developmentally disabled child with a skilled companion or facility dog. All of our people who receive dogs from us receive them free of charge. Over the years, we have assisted over 4,500 people in gaining an assistance dog. It's an exciting new venture. The demand is great and is greater every day, with people aging and surviving more injuries in this day and age. More and more people are wanting assistance dogs. We have a long waiting list in almost every one of our categories, and we need to do a better job of placing more dogs.
We are at the Gene and Charles Schultz campus in Santa Rosa, California, and this is our Northwest Regional Center and National Headquarters. Our campus is very active. We have our training program here. We have instructors who have been training for 3 or 4 years, up to 20 years. And we all just have a great love of dogs. We train facility dogs for people that work in hospital settings. We train skilled companion dogs, and we have our service dog category for those that are 18 and older that are able to handle the dog independently. We also have our hearing dog category for adults who are either deaf or have some type of hearing loss. They start as 8-week-old puppies on this campus. Our breeder caretakers, who are all volunteers, whelp those litters in their home. They come back to us for their first round of vaccinations. Then they are picked up and taken care of and trained for the next 18 months by volunteer puppy raisers.
We have close to 1,000 puppy raisers across the country. They take the dog for 13, 14 months, socialize it, treat it as their own, take it to obedience class, and return it to us with a loose leash and all of their obedience commands completed. We have over 175 staff across the country, many of them with years and years of experience. Instructors in particular have practiced their trade for at least 3 years before they can even become instructors. And the dog is not just your average dog, it is the best of the best. It's the Mercedes, it's the Lexus of the dog world. They see the results of what we do. We serve people and we change people's lives.
You know, the dog opens up doors for me, but literally and physically, the dog opened up more doors than I could have imagined. It completely changed my life. In Special Forces, they don't teach you very much humility. You know, you're supposedly the best of the best and everything. So when you go from that to being in a wheelchair, completely depending on other things, it's really, really tough. And you get used to asking people to help you, but you don't like it. You know, and it's so much easier for a dog to do it. There's a lot of veterans here in Texas, and it was really difficult for me to go to California. So, you know, with the facility right here in North Texas, it's going to make a big difference, and I know it'll make a big impact on this area. And I think most guys will, like me, saying, oh, I'm too independent, I don't need a dog, I don't want to take a dog away from someone else. But, you know, they have dogs for everyone, and this is one of the biggest things that they could do for themselves is to get a service dog.
Together, Baylor Scott and White Health and Canine Companions for Independence look forward to building this training center right here in Texas, which will provide more highly trained service dogs for the people who need them.
They just help so much. They give you, confidence when you're out. They give you independence, and they just give you a lot of love. So I'll never be without a service dog now. Right, Rue?
Penn Farm at Cedar Hill State Park is a great place to step back into the early 1900s and learn about farm life. Today, Assistant Park Superintendent Beth Tragus shows us Penn Farm and all the history the park has. Beth, thank you for joining us today. Cedar Hill State Park is an amazing place to take your dog for a walk. And one of the great places that you could take your dog for a walk and see great history just south of DFW is Penn Farm. Penn Farm was settled in the 1850s.
That's correct.
Wow, so you could take your dog out here for a walk and learn a lot about the history out here. So what can visitors see when they come out?
Well, John Wesley Penn established this farm, as you said, back in the 1850s, and it was actually in use for over 100 years. So you have the new barn back behind us, which is still close to 100 years old.
Wow.
And there is an older farmhouse, the new farmhouse, there's tool storage buildings. Most of the buildings are historical. There's one that's a reproduction as well. So all of these spanned a full century of the Penn family's life.
This is our brand new barn. It is one of the most impressive buildings on the farm. It was built in 1918, which was a war year. So that goes to show how well off the Penns were doing at the time. They weren't rich by our standards today, but they were definitely doing well. And it's built in the style of a cattle barn. Andy Penn, when he took over the farm, he wanted to focus on raising cattle. So he built this barn, and inside of the barn, there are two buildings that were recycled from other places on the farm and put inside to be a double-cribbed barn. This is the 1859 barn, and it was the very first thing that the Penns ever built in this area, and that was because they wanted to protect the livelihood of their farm, which were the horses. This barn is a double crib barn, And inside, you can see an advance in the architecture of the time. And the dovetailing of the logs going together was very innovative.
We do guided programs every Saturday. They vary between guided hikes around the park. Sometimes we'll do farm tours. We'll do butter churning demonstrations to show how the settlers back in the 1850s would make some of their food.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And anytime we're doing programs around at the park, unless it specifically says otherwise on the program posting, then dogs are more than welcome to participate.
So when people bring their dogs out here to the farm to visit, what are some of the things they might think about, like keeping their dogs on a leash?
Well, we want to make sure that everybody is aware that dogs do need to be on a 6-foot leash or less. That is state regulations. And also we ask everyone to clean up after their dogs. That way everyone can have a pleasant walking experience.
Great. And when you come out to the park, how would you get to Penn Farm, and what are the hours that you could come out and visit the farm?
The park is actually open all the way from 6 o'clock in the morning until 10 o'clock at night, and the Penn Farm gates do not shut, so as long as the park is open and we are here 365 days of the year, you can get to Penn Farm.
Beth, thank you so much for showing us Penn Farm and a little bit about the history of this park. And we look forward to letting everybody know about bringing their dogs out to Penn Farm and visiting you guys.
It's my pleasure. I hope to see you out here while I'm walking my dog.
Thank you. Trail hiking can be a great way to get in touch with nature. Cedar Hill State Park offers many miles of trails that are perfect for taking your dogs for a walk.
Hello, my name is Officer Clayton Shields. I am a park police officer here at Cedar Hill State Park. I've been in law enforcement now for just under 7 years. I worked previously for Dallas County Constable's Office, for the Dallas County District Attorney's Office, and also as a patrol officer for the city of Bosque Farms in New Mexico prior to coming to Cedar Hill State Park as a park police officer. Cedar Hill State Park is well known for its trails. There's 15 miles of hiking and biking trails for people to come and recreate. It's a great place to bring your dog to use the Duck Pond Trail or here the Talala Trail. We also have the Dorba Trails, which are primarily for biking use. It's not recommended for your dogs there just because there'll be so many people there riding bicycles. But the Duck Pond Trail and the Talala Trails are perfect for bringing your dogs and hiking. People, once they do check and find out the conditions of the trails, if they are indeed too wet and unable to hike on the trails, generally people enjoy also walking on the roadways here at Cedar Hill State Park. The roads we have a 20-mile-an-hour speed limit. We try to enforce that as much as possible so that we keep people driving at a reasonable speed, and it's very safe to walk on the roads. The trails in total are 15 miles here, and each trail has varying length. There are over 100 species of birds here at Cedar Hill State Park. Primarily, we have people that come out and like to watch for road runners. We have birds of prey. I've seen vultures here. I've seen cardinals and several other variety of birds that I'm unfamiliar with. But we do have bird watchers that do frequent the park, and you can typically see them walking around here with their binoculars viewing varying species of birds. Cedar Hill State Park we have over 350 campsites that have water and electricity, and we have many that also include sewer hookup. We have quite a few primitive campsites that are also for use. We have boating, 2 boat launches. We have a north end boat launch and a south end boat launch with Joe Pool Marina. We have a beach area that's used a lot of times for smaller children to go and play and wade in the water. There is a line that kind of cordons off the beach area from the lake so that it is safe for kids. We have playgrounds here. There's the playground over by the beach area. There's also a playground on the south end of the park for kids to enjoy. We have the perch pond, which is a small pond for fishing. Usually that pond is stocked annually with rainbow trout, and people do like to come and fish that pond, as well as obviously Joe Pool Lake, where people do come to fish for crappie or bass. At Cedar Hill State Park, we welcome your dogs, and we ask you to come and enjoy your pets here. We just ask that you keep them away or out of designated swim areas and out of the buildings here on the park, unless the dog is a service animal. Cedar Hill State Park is open from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily at 365 days a year. We're located at 1570 FM 1382 in Cedar Hill, Texas. To learn more about the park, please visit texasstateparks.org or call 972-291-3900. We look forward to you coming out and visiting us, and we welcome you and your pets. Thank you.
Closed captioning for this episode of American Dog Culture is paid for by the Marla Yost team of Keller Williams in Arlington, Texas.
I'm Marla Yost with the Marla Yost team and Keller Williams in Arlington, Texas. We want to earn your business in Arlington. Arlington has wonderful amenities from parks to schools to the entertainment district. We'd love to help you with all your real estate needs, whether you're buying or selling a home or looking to invest in real estate. Please give us a call. 817-382-9791.
We love seeing your dogs. Let's go meet Caleb Birchfield's dog, Sebastian.
This is my dog Sebastian. He's a 4-year-old Shih Tzu Schnauzer mix. I got him when he was about 5 weeks old. I adopted him from a woman who had several kids, several dogs, a litter of puppies and nothing to do with them. So he's been with me ever since. He is completely oblivious to life outside of humans and dogs. We have many a rabbit and squirrel, and he is not fazed a bit. So that's my dog.
So whenever you take him outside and get on a walk, he acts like nobody's there?
He literally does not think that anything else exists.
Really?
Yes. Unless you have 4 legs or 2, he's not interested.
How do you think he would act if he came face to face with one as opposed to from, like, you know, from a distance?
Oh, he did, a rabbit. We thought that he was going to scare it away, and he didn't notice it was there.
Oh, yeah?
So he's pretty good with other wildlife, simply because he ignores it.
Very nice.
At every turn. But dogs and humans. Sebastian, come here, Bubba. Come here. I think he's getting tired.
Have you ever taken him to like a little doggy daycare?
No, I don't usually trust a lot of people with him.
Oh, really?
So usually I keep him with immediate family, friends, no strangers. He's my little fur baby, so I treat him as such.
Here's my good buddy. Oh, here's my good buddy. You're a good boy.
For pets, vaccines are the most important healthcare preventative. This week's health and safety pet tip is brought to you by Dr. Kendrick of Country Club Pet Hospital.
Vaccinations. You know, there's so much controversy today about what do we do, why do we do this. We've seen currently in the human side, we have this measles outbreak that's kind of come out through the general public, and it's pretty much gone all over the country. So it's an ideal time for us to talk about, well, why do we vaccinate our dogs and what's important about the vaccinations? And why do we vaccinate indoor dogs and why do we not necessarily vaccinate them? Every dog and every cat is an individual. And so our vaccine protocols have been modified over the last several years into dealing with this as an individual animal basis. Every pet has different exposure risks to different things. Surprisingly, most of the diseases that we see that we currently vaccinate for are in indoor dogs. And if you think about it, the reason for that is fairly common. Those indoor dogs don't have any sort of natural exposure. Dogs who are kept outside all the time are constantly being bombarded with wild virus types, wild bacterial exposures. Some of those guys are going to get sick, but their immune system is very active, and many of them are going to recover naturally and become self-vaccinated, so to speak. But the poor indoor dog is never exposed to anything. It's indoors all the time. Some of these dogs actually even go to the bathroom on potty pads within the apartment or within the house. And so when those dogs do get exposed to something, their immune system is completely incompetent. If that immune system is incompetent, that means when they do get exposed to something, they're likely going to get sick. So what we have to do is we have to discuss with the owner, what is your pet's lifestyle? Once we know what the lifestyle is, then we can pattern a series of vaccines specific to that pet. For instance, I'm not going to take a little Maltese that I know never goes outdoors and request a rattlesnake vaccine for that pet. But I will recommend that rattlesnake vaccine for the dogs who are hunting dogs who are constantly going out to West Texas and running around bird hunting, and they're coming into high exposure risk. So that's just an example. We have groups of vaccines that we call core vaccines, and in dogs that's going to be the rabies vaccine, the distemper, and the parvo vaccine. And those are true vaccines because those diseases are viral in nature. And those vaccines also tend to give us a longer term exposure for protection. Whereas when we're dealing with some of the other diseases that we vaccinate for, we're actually saying vaccine is a misnomer. We are giving these dogs bacterins because these are vaccines that are produced from bacterial diseases, and inevitably they don't give us long-term protection like a true vaccine for a virus does. So a bacterin, for instance, could be leptospirosis. Vaccinating for that is very important because that disease is actually transmissible to people, and it can create some severe disease in people and cause severe kidney problems and joint problems. Bordetella is another one that we vaccinate on an annual basis because we don't get long-term immunity. People understand that one because they hear the term kennel cough. Well, kennel cough is not just associated with the kennels. It's associated with any group of dogs that may get together, such as at a dog park, or maybe even in some of the pet stores that allow you to bring your pets in. Anytime that you take animals from a wide area and bring them into a small zone, there is increased risk. So that's why we tend to vaccinate and do our examinations on a regular basis.
Closed captioning for this episode of American Dog Culture is paid for by the Marla Yost team of Keller Williams in Arlington, Texas.
I'm Marla Yost with the Marla Yost team and Keller Williams in Arlington, Texas. We want to earn your business in Arlington. Arlington has wonderful amenities from parks to schools to the entertainment district. We'd love to help you with all your real estate needs, whether you're buying or selling a home or looking to invest in real estate. Please give us a call. 817-382-9791.
That's it for this week's show. If you have a story or a tip to share with us, be sure to drop us a line at AmericanDogCulture.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook. We'll see you next week.